Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Wilhelm and welcome back to the channel for more Destiny 2 news and intel. And in today's video, we have a ton of topics to discuss. Yesterday, we had another Bungie live stream, which finally revealed a bit more about how we're going to be able to acquire the new tiered armor and weapons heading into the Edge of Fate, as well as how the power progression or grind is going to work heading into the Edge of Fate. It's the first time we've really gotten a good look at all of that stuff, so we'll cover that information. There's also some new weapons and armor that are finally free for everybody, and if you're a solo player, I think a lot of it is going to be a must-have heading into the Edge of Fate, so we'll cover that as well, and all the other weekly update information regarding vendors and such. So if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and turn on the bell to post notifications so you never miss out on any future Destiny 2 content like this. You can also follow me on Instagram. It'll be linked in the description box down below. Remember, subscribing to the YouTube channel is free, and almost 70% of the people who watch regularly are still not subscribed. So if you feel it in your heart to subscribe to the channel, it really helps out a lot. We're almost to 90,000 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. I believe we're a little more than 100 away from 90K. Remember, we do a giveaway on the YouTube channel every 1,000 subscribers, so you never want to miss out. And when we reach 100,000 subscribers on the channel, we'll be giving away a new console or a video card if you play on PC. Any of the things I just mentioned, liking, commenting, or subscribing, or leaving a comment down below, or follow me on Instagram, will also give you another entry into the next giveaway for this video. Remember, those stack between all videos, so if you haven't done this on a previous piece of content on this channel, you can always go back, check out another video, and of course, do it again. You can also leave a secret hashtag down below that I'll have at the end of the video, or you can leave a comment on any of the topics of discussion in today's video as a comment down below, or anything I might mispronounce during the course of today's video. If you also like to become a channel member or leave a tip or thanks on the YouTube channel, thank you so much for that. That'll also give you a few more entries into the next giveaway for this video, and you'll also receive a from request from me personally and a shout out in a video down the road. I'm going to try to do a viewer shout out every month or so. So I still have a few that we're going to do towards the end of today's video. So if you are somebody who did donate to the channel recently, be on the lookout for that. Just to wrap up the quick and easy things in the tower, Banshee 44 has the Nox Perennial that is fully enhanceable this week with Fragile Focus and Wellspring. This also comes with the Wild Card Origin trait. This is a very good linear fusion rifle, excuse me, regular fusion rifle, not linear, a very good strand fusion rifle for solo players because it is enhanceable right out of the box. Enhanceable weapons are going to be, I think, even better heading into the Edge of Fate than we would have thought, even with the new weapon tier system. I think a fully enhanced weapon, especially a meta one like this, because Strand is going to be really, really good heading into the Edge of Fate, will still be worth at least, at the very least, a tier 2, I would say more likely a tier 3. I have some questions about how this tier system is really going to affect the playability of certain weapons and armor for that matter. There has been times in the past when we did go through armor and weapons changes, when we went from armor weapons 1.0 to 2.0. There were things that actually were still better from the previous system because though the new system ultimately has a higher top end, it's kind of like throwing a turbo on a small engine. Sometimes a big engine is still better. So in this case, I would say that these fully enhanceable weapons, especially especially really meta ones like this that are going to be heavily favored into the meta heading into Edge of Fate, it's like having a big V8 versus maybe a 4-cylinder, turbo. I'm not trying to get too in the weeds here with the car analogies. I am a bit of a car guy, but I just felt like that's how it feels to me. So I wanted to sort of convey that message. Don't pass up on weapons like this when they do become available, especially if you are a solo player. Though the tier weapons and armor will ultimately be better, in the beginning, they're not going to be. And we'll talk about that a little bit more when we later on in the video when I talk about how you're going to be able to acquire these things quickly. But definitely worth a pickup. We have the Enigma Glaive with Threat Detector and Kill Clip, which is also not a bad glaive. It also has the Temper Trust half. This is a very good glaive to pick up as a solo player if you are a glaive person. We have the Sail Spy Pitch Glass with Rapid Hit Frenzy right hook. This can be crafted. 7th Seraph Saw with auto-loading holster, opening shot. Huscow with Pulse Monitor and Rangefinder, and then we have a Hollow Denial. Again, I feel like this weapon is always here with Well-Rounded, Wellspring, and Extrovert. Upgrade modules are going away in the Edge of Fate. Apparently, they'll be able to be traded in for, I think, enhancement cores, which are going to be the new upgrade material. They always have been, but you won't have to acquire this extra material in order to do so. So that's good. Kind of glad to see those going away. Over at Commander Zavala, DJ Oros joining us in the tower. If you're watching to this point in the video, please leave a hashtag RealDez or hashtag DJ Oros in the comments section down below for another entry into the next giveaway for this video. You can also always leave a hashtag Lord Sinister, because though he's not with us today, he's with us in spirit and is the backbone of this channel as far as those who help me out regularly on my fire team. As I said earlier in the week, we have a Lotus Eater in its Adept form, which this weapon, Adept and fully enhanced, I'm going to just say it right now, I think it's actually going to be worth, at the minimum, a tier 3, but I actually think it's going to be worth a tier 4 weapon. Now, normally I wouldn't have said that previous to the Bungie live stream yesterday, but though I think the new tier system is going to be really, really good for build crafting, and I think it's just a long overdue change, I do think that certain weapons, if you're somebody who can get the really good stuff now, are going to still be better, at least until the raid. Probably after the raid a bit too, but the Lotus Eater is just a super meta weapon, and when it is fully enhanced in its Adept form, it is incredibly good. And like I said, we'll cover a little bit more about why I think these things after the Bungie reveal stream yesterday and the power progression and how tier armor is going to work towards the end of the video, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that's free right now that I think all solo players are really going to want. Over at the Eververse store, we had the Mod Crace shader, which I think is a little slightly animated shader, but it looks really, really cool. I actually really enjoy the look of that one. I'm going to buy it. Remember to pick up your free Bright Dust if you're a solo player. We also had the Warfire ornament for the, what is this for? This is for the Sunbracers. And apparently this has a unique interaction with another legendary armor piece, which is absolutely incredible. I think it's, I can try to find it, but I don't want to go looking through the menus here. But this is a really cool one to pick up, and it's one of the few that actually essentially has a armor ornament set that goes with it. So worth picking up there. Down on our main Bright Dust page, we also have the Break Shot ornament for the Sunshot, which looks really, really cool. I don't think this has been for sale ever before, so finally free. We have the M3D1 Anglos, probably saying that incorrectly. The Refit Kite. Interesting, interesting. This shell. Pragmat shell, okay. Fun. What does this look like? This looks like Sputnik or something. Huh. Interesting. And then we have the Potent Mixture emote. So that's just the weekly reset stuff. Now there is some really good exclusive stuff we're going to have to change locations for. And this is going to be really the stuff that I think solo players are going to really benefit from. As I've said before, there are certain ornaments that change how a weapon functions. Sometimes certain ornaments change sights on weapons. I don't know why, but they do. And sometimes it makes the weapon much more forgiving. And in other cases, it actually makes the weapon a lot better when it comes to landing things like headshots in PvP. And I've talked about how eventually I wanted to make a full video about all these ornaments, but to be honest, there's just so many, and I don't have all of them, so I haven't had the time to playtest as much as I'd like to when it comes to these things. But there is one that I think is absolutely amazing, and it is available right now, as well as some other free exotics which are really, really good, not just for regular PvP or PvE, but also endgame stuff that I think everybody, you're going to get a leg up. Especially if you're a solo or new player, this is going to be kind of must-haves, I think. You know, I don't know exactly what will be the ultimate meta as far as weapons are concerned heading into the Edge of Fate, but a few of these are going to be really, really good. So if you head over to Rite of the Nine and the Emissary, you'll notice that this week we have the non-airy Engrams available. Now, the non-airy Engrams are just for cosmetics, but they have this list of cosmetics. Now, the Winged Wolf Sparrow, if you don't have, or excuse me, I don't know why they said Sparrow. It's a skimmer. Huh, not sure why I said that. But the Winged Wolf Skimmer, if you don't have a skimmer, this is the Galahorn skimmer. I believe this is also the first time this has become available for free, but skimmers are a must-have now. So if you're somebody who hasn't been able to get a skimmer, go and get yourself one as soon as possible. This is a good one, but all of them are good. All of these other cosmetics are also a lot of fun, but the thing that goes unsaid with these non-airy Engrams are that if you have stuff on this list, you will still get other cosmetics. So if you have everything here, you are going to be able to get stuff that is not on this list. And even if you don't have stuff here, you will still be able to get other stuff that is not on this list. So I don't really even know why they have this list, because you can really get random drops from anything. And you'll be able to buy 20 right off the bat. So if you head over to the non-airy Engrams, if you have non-airy manifolds, you can just acquire stuff. As you can see, that wasn't on the list. Is it anywhere on this list? Nope. So you can get a whole bunch of stuff. And the Braytech ornament for the Forerunner is absolutely incredible. If you can get that ornament for the Forerunner, it improves the weapon dramatically. So you'll be able to cash in non-airy manifolds for 20 different exotic cosmetics, emotes, ornaments, and then you'll be getting a free non-airy Engram every single week. So just from, every single day, starting, I believe, next week. So you'll be able to get 7 more of those cosmetics. So 27 total free exotic cosmetics or ornaments over the next 2 weeks. So long as you farm up non-airy manifolds. The best way to farm up non-airy manifolds, there's 2 ways. I still think the best way is probably to load into Ghost of the Deep either on the Eternity or Ultimatum difficulty, get past the first encounter, and get to that second encounter, which was added specifically for Rite of the Nine, where you have to fight the Lucian Hive. Once you fight the Lucian Hive, you'll get a chest to spawn. You can then jump off the nearest ledge, and it will reset you to right before the jumping puzzle that exists right before the Lucian Hive, and then you can just go through the jumping puzzle, which doesn't take very long. It's a very easy one. Kill the Lucian Hive again, jump off the edge again, and get that chest over and over again. That'll give you non-airy manifolds as well as weapons and whatnot. You can do that, or you can If you're a more old school player, jump into the Prophecy and do the glitch past the first encounter and jump to the first boss encounter, kill the boss, and then just do that over and over again. You'll be able to just have a checkpoint at the boss encounter. So I'm not totally sure which is quicker. I would say maybe this one is slightly quicker once you get to the boss, but I think the other one might be easier for solo players. Of course, you have to get past the first encounter in order to actually do the one for Ghost in the Deep, whereas this one you can just do the skip through the tunnel glitch to get to the first boss encounter. But ultimately, the first boss encounter in Prophecy is not as easy as killing the Lucian Hive in Ghost of the Deep. So I leave it to you to decide which one you want to do, but that'll net you a lot of non-area manifolds, so you can get all the cosmetics possible. Remember, there are 20 that you can buy today, and then you'll get a free non-area engram every single day that you log in next week. So, very good. But the thing that you really want to be looking out for is the Braytech ornament for the Forerunner. The other thing that you'll notice is last week we were given Arbalist as well as Polaris Lance. These were added also for non-area manifolds, but now we also have a Graviton Lance and the Whisper of the Worm. Now this is something that all solo players really should get, especially if you haven't been able to run this exotic mission. I mean, they're just giving this stuff away. Definitely get it. And on Friday at XUR, there is also going to be a couple other exotics possibly available, at least one of these two, which have never been made available before. And these are also from exotic missions. One will be the Choir of One, possibly. The other will be the shotgun from... Let me just check really quick. Sometimes I forget the names of these. Is it the Kells Fall mission? It'll be one of the two exotics made from previous seasons. There's a shotgun, I think it was last season, the shotgun that fires in a spread, a void shotgun. Names escaping me, leave the name in the comments section down below for another entry into the next giveaway, or the Choir of One auto rifle. So those are now added to XUR'S loot pool, and Bungie hinted that they will have something new at XUR this Friday. So it might be both of them, or it might be one of them, but I think we'll get at least both of them at XUR before Edge of Fate actually launches. So these are some great items. I'm glad that Bungie has made them available for free and easily acquirable for solo players, as I know a lot of times solo players don't really get an opportunity to get a hold of some of these things, or certainly not as easily as they are right now. Got my buddies exploring everywhere. Oh, is DJ up there? Fun. Go up there and join him. And before I finish today's video, I wanted to talk, as I said before, a little bit about power progression and tiered armor, how it's going to work. So, the new portal is really what Bungie wants us to do. Everything is going to be available through the portal. They'll essentially guide you to what will be dropping where and when. There'll be rotators on different activities that ultimately will reward you these tiered armor and weapons, and there are going to be modifiers that you can add to every activity to increase the level of armor and weapons that you'll be getting from the activity. So there'll be essentially modifiers, if you ever played Nightfalls way back in the day, that will increase the tier of drops that you'll be able to get from an activity. So it won't necessarily be that certain activities drop this level and certain ones don't. It'll be every activity essentially can be buffed up to be made more difficult in order to get these new tier weapons and armor. And then there will be some that just generically, like Nightfalls and sort of endgame stuff, that will just generically always have those modifiers added, so they'll always be tougher, and they will also add higher drop rate on the better tiered armor and weapons. So some stuff you'll be able to just bump up a la carte on your own, make it more or less difficult, and some stuff will just be generically difficult, and you can decide whether you want to do the stuff that is just already sort of buffed up so you don't really have to think about what modifiers you want to add. I think some players who have, like myself, who have been playing for longer periods might jump into those versus going through the whole modifier, foray, just because it's a little easier. Also, there'll be new playlists for solo players as well as for groups. And if you're a Crucible player, you'll actually be able now to just play Crucible and still hit the power and, I was going to say the power and level cap, but those are kind of the same thing. You'll be able to get the best armor, though. You'll be able to get the highest tier armor and reach the power cap just by playing Crucible, which is something that really hasn't been here, I think, since D1. So if you're somebody who just wants to play the Crucible, you'll still be able to rank up like the rest of us. And the soft cap will be at 200 now, and then the hard cap or the pinnacle cap will be at 450. Now, Bungie also said that if you play through the Legendary campaign, you will immediately be raid ready as soon as you're done. There will only be I think they said tier 2 or tier 3 armor available through the Legendary campaign, but then there are higher levels of the campaign that will ultimately reward you higher tier armors and weapons. But I think the campaign, with how they stated it, was if you want to rush through the campaign and just be raid ready and have your power ready, you can do that. However, even in the Legendary campaign, there are sort of secret side missions and more secret side missions on the higher levels of the campaign that will also give you better armor and weapons. So, though you might only be able to get a tier 2, tier 3 armor set through the Legendary campaign if you just rush through it, if you explore a little bit more, you might be able to get better stuff. But I actually think that replaying the campaign, especially on those higher level difficulties, is going to be very worthwhile in the beginning. I think some of this stuff has always been kind of like, once you get through it, a lot of people kind of forget about it, but it's going to be very worthwhile now to just continually do that stuff over and over again. So that's how power is going to work. Also, every drop in the game will be able to get you to the 200, the soft power cap. But once you want to go above that, you're going to need to do the new activities. So I'll probably put together a power farm guide for the new activities as well as the old stuff, what's the quickest, what isn't. But generally, playing the new stuff through the portal is going to be the fastest way to get to both the soft and pinnacle cap and to be raid ready on day one. So more information to come on those specifics once I'm sort of into the game. There'll be specific activities, things that I'm sure if you add the right kind of modifiers, both buffs and debuffs, it'll be the shortest period of time for the best reward. And I know that Destiny players will find these things pretty quick. I'm sure I'll be looking on day one, as a lot of people are, because there's going to be a lot of sort of superfluous stuff, meaning things that aren't going to be as rewarding in a particular time frame. So we're always looking for the shortest point between point A and point B. Point A being where we'll start, which will be power 10, and point B being power 450 with a full set of tier 5 armor and weapons. That's what we're going to want, as well as new exotics. And also, as far as exotics are concerned, apparently, though the old exotics that we currently have are going to be reallocated to the new armor stats 1-to-1, the new armor that drops, that is exotics that will be dropping once Edge of Fate launches, will have the new armor 3.0. So there will be a time frame, I think, much like having really good meta adept enhanced weapons, where old exotics are going to be better than the new revised versions of them. And I think that's going to be, I think, for at least a month or so. I think once you are fully decked out in tier 5 armor and tier 5 weapons, then things might change. But heading into day 1 raid, I have a feeling that the fully enhanced Adept weapons and the old Exotics are still going to be the things that people use. It's just me, but I'll still, of course, cover all the ways to farm out the new weapons and armor, get them as quick as possible, and possibly what exotics you want to hold on to and what ones you might want to upgrade. Because like I said, it's going to be 1-to-1, so there will still be all the stats, but once you go to the new 3.0 armor for exotics, you'll have those sort of high peaks of stats and some stats with none at all. So you might decide that that kind of build crafting really isn't for you at the onset, though ultimately it will be better because you'll be able to get higher peaks in your stats versus more lower uniform stat bonuses on exotics. Hopefully that's not too complicated. It really is a complicated system that they've sort of done here, and it's not changing over immediately, so there's going to be kind of a way period between the two of having to decide what you want to use when and what really is better. Ultimately, like I said, all the new stuff will be better, but at first, I think it's going to be kind of what you decide works best for your play style. But that's going to conclude all the information in today's video. Hopefully you found something in this video helpful. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell to post notifications so you never miss out on any future Destiny 2 content like this. We might make it to 90K on this video if you all really feel it in your hearts to support the channel, help a dream come true of one day reaching 100K, but today reaching 90K, which is absolutely amazing. In my mind, I never really thought I was going to make it that far. So also please, as I said before, leave a hashtag RealDez or DJ or hashtag Sinister down below. If you watched to this point in the video, you can also leave a hashtag The Edge of Fate, or hashtag Year of Prophecy, or hashtag Renegades, or hashtag Right in the Nine for another entry into the next giveaway. And once more, I am Wilhelm Scream. Thanks so much for watching again, and of course, we will see you next time. Later!